in the bot lane, so you definitely just want to play around that. Wukong also not really the best farming jungler, so I would expect both junglers to really try to play around their bot lane. That's also what we kind of see right now of them starting on the top tilt of the map and pathing downwards. And Levi knows some tricks on every jungler he plays, so maybe on the Lilia he can also maybe go for some maybe pathing shenanigans to really throw the Wukong off, and just now it looks to be the case as he threw me off guard, which is him starting away maybe at the red buff or maybe even at the chickens to really alternate his jungle pathing. Or this just now looks also that they are going for some late invade.
A late invade appears to be on the cards. The Amumu can be quite effective with that level 1 bandage toss, so gonna poke their head in, not gonna really find anyone. And if they can sneak this and just sneak away a quick blue buff, that's gonna be quite a good start for Levi. I think it may have been read out by Ari, so SGB not necessarily aware of it. They're gonna find out when they see the pathing from the bot lane of GAM come down through the river. But seems like the pings are
Even if
saying
they
that
find
they're
out, even
Yeah,
if they
they're
find out, I
aware.
mean, this is a very good map split that he can just go for his red buff on the side of Levi, and he just can play very close to his own bot lane the whole time, which is a very strong matchup regardless of that. And then the bot lane from Saigon Buffalo really has to be kind of shivering in fear. They, of course, do not really fear the balance shots onto the minion as much, but in general, just having the jungler all the way close, breathing down your neck is something you definitely fear if you're playing against Kalista, Mumu, and another jungler as well. So this is not really easy to play around. While on the other hand, BJ has to kind of strong side his top lane, which is Gwen against Gangplank. And Gangplank is not that easy to gank, especially with Wukong, who doesn't have any lockdown early on, and Gwen doesn't have anything of that either. And even if you would have that, the Gangplank would just remove Scurvy out. And here we see Levi maybe going for a very early dive. However, the minion wave, way too thin. You cannot really play that.
Way
Not
too
yet.
thin, and early tower damage is such a threat. I feel like this would be a bit of an overreach, especially because B cannot take that tower for very long with that without that aftershock. But everything
They don't
lands.
care.
The flash comes in. 2 flashes forced from their bandage toss, and they are far enough away. The second one comes through, and they get onto Shogun style. Is going on after it. The ignite ticks down. They get 2 kills. None of them go to the Callista, so it's not quite as good as the start from Buffalo last game, but hey, it'll do.
Yeah, the dagger is in the GAM immediately twisted, getting a double kill right there. 1 kill to the Mumu, 1 to the Lilia. Not the ideal goal distribution as last game we saw Shogun getting all the kills into Kalista and sold the game off of that, but still a very good start for them. Also denying a lot of CS from Zeri, who's on 9 CS to the 21 from Style. Meanwhile, they try to pressure Kati out as a consolation prize, but even Kati not really suffering too much from it. Yes, of course, he is down some CS to the Ari, but he can also clear a large part of the minion wave that is currently running into his turret. He will be fine. He also spared his life, so at the end of the day, a very big win for the side of GAM. You will see again how they really played it out. The minion wave, as I said, initially was very thin, but with the cannon wave together, they can just go for the dive. Levi hits the swirling seed onto Shogun. Flash bandage toss has to force 2 flashes, as you pointed out in the play-by-play. The second bandage toss comes out, Shogun gets tagged and can just get run down by Lilia and Kalista, and GAM rewards themselves with 2 quick kills.
Fantastic. Now, we saw a little bit of a peek in from BJ to try and punish and take away some camps from Levi, and it will keep the Lilia behind, but with those kills in pocket, does not care a lick as they move on to their red buff right now. And we're going to start to see some trading coming out from these top laners. As you said, there was not an option to go up there from BJ because there's no CC of really any kind until 6. And so Kiai just gets to keep chipping away with that Sheen and those Grasp of the Undying procs.
Definitely does. Level 4 on both of those. Actually, level 5 for Husband already, but with this wave being barreled down, it will be Kiai hitting level 5. Levi now, maybe getting pinned by SGB. The charm is very
Oh, the
important.
flash charm comes through, and the follow-up is there. It's just going to be a huge collapse. Style has overreached, trying to save his jungler, and just Levi out of position, punishing that, and getting his AD carry wrapped up in it.
I wouldn't say that. I think Style just shouldn't be there. I mean, he's trying to bail out his jungler as a Kalista. What can he really do? I mean, it's not really like him being level 6 and he's being soulbound to him. He cannot really do anything for Levi there. I think he just ran into it and died, and that's just 2 oversteps in the singularity. And Levi should just be the one to be blamed for his own death. But regardless of that, GAM not really playing cleanly with their lead in that regard. They were almost 2k gold up, and now a lot of that has been diminished. Also, giving kill to Shogun's Zeri is something that they really hate to see. And yeah, just an overstep from Levi. He didn't
Might
need to go
not.
for the invade.
You might not need CC when Kiara is just this low. The Ignite reduced the healing of the orange. BJ has the flash and can absolutely go for this. It's a kill. Can Levi convert it? Not probably not with missing that E. Gonna come up, miss the Q as well. There's no hope.
I think even if he hits it, he probably doesn't kill the Wukong before Hasmet is around. I think that's just a very naive try by him on the side of that. Also missing this world seed, not really playing in his favor. And Saigon Buffalo really clawing back into this game. Nice flash jump coming up by Forgy to really get the kill into Levi going. And Levi just died. And Style, why is he walking into it? I don't understand. I mean, even if Levi doesn't instantly die there, I don't think they can fight the 3v3 very much there. And it's just something where you really have to accept your loss, accept that you just overstepped on the side of your jungler, and then just give them this one single kill. Now it's two for the side of Saigon Buffalo, make it free with the top lane dive happening by the side of BJ, who has a great recovery after not the best early game start where he kind of had to watch this bot lane get dove by the side of Levi.
All still in the favor of GAM just a little bit, but we're seeing CS leads open up in top jungle, and it's getting counted a little bit by the bot lane, but it's just a little bit of an interesting situation where it feels like all the metrics should be in SGP's favor, but the gold is still coming up GAM.
It's still coming out Garment by a little bit at least, because the CS lead of the bot is just so oppressive, right? Zeri cannot really fight it to the Kalista early on. She really needs her items to get going, and Style, despite that one little int he had earlier, is still doing a good job at that. Just now he gets tagged by the Ultra Shock laser though, which is something that shouldn't happen. That is a very telegraphed spell. He also has his dashes if he uses his Martial Poise passive, but regardless of that, they just can go for this first Drake on their own due to the insane botlane priority. It is a Hextech Drake, so it will be a very useful one for their side. As Kiaya gets all in by Hasmet, and Hasmet is kind of baiting for BJ to really play a gank in this. And meanwhile, they get the kill onto the dragon right now, and Kiaya might overstep here. BJ also level 6.
Everything was blown from Hasmet, but the tower is in position. Teleport from Yone will dissuade any further attempts. And in the bot lane, they are going to try and make something happen. They've waited out the exhaust. They've waited out the shield. The Ren comes out. Can they get a second kill? It does not seem likely. Shogun should be able to walk away quite happy, but that's a kill onto the Callista. Very happy to see the bot lane putting down their pressure.
I mean, he walks out alive. I don't think he walks out happy there with just seeing his support being murdered like that. But either way of that, we just saw the insane 2v2 prowess coming up by the Kalista Momo lane. It's just so easy to really have this early game prowess in that. Here we see again how it really happens. It was just one balance just landing, a few spears already being in. Taki just tanks spear after spear. Style whips like 10 spears into him, then just uses the wand and gets the kill. Also like 5 spears into Style. Or into Shogun in that regard. And he also gets poked on quite a lot by it. And Kalista Mumu is just such a strong 2v2 bot. Then we keep saying it. And it won them the last game. Maybe this time it is again the winning bot lane. They definitely need to do a good job this game, as the other lanes aren't working out quite as well, especially like top lane. I mean, after this one gank coming out from BJ, Gangplank has been a little bit of a struggler.
Yeah, we're starting to see a bit of a we're seeing the rotation up to the top side. GAM all over this Rift Tower. Not really much response. So Zeri just going to go and try and push this bot wave as fast as she can. Unfortunately, she kind of lingered a little bit in the jungle and will be late to the push and can easily be interrupted by that gangplank. So this is all coming up GAM right now. And they're going to convert this into a tower. Or at least a lot of damage on top side. Actually, that's 3 people there.
Also, 5 platings is a little bit much. Of course, the Herald gets knocked down too. I think they don't really go for the turret right there, and they could actually use the Herald up bot soon enough, because it's only 3 platings up down there, and you can get an insane value of 1 Herald charge, especially if the turret already dropped a few platings. And this might just be what Levi plans to do. He could just also use it in the mid lane to get some pressure out into the main map territory with 1 plating already down, but. Oh, Kati was.
Oh, Kati, it just doesn't work. The alt dash seems to have been interrupted by the cyclone, and it just meant, even though he goes far, the charm is in position to take him back. And good night. You pressed too hard.
Yeah. Good night, Kati. He just tries to ult out and just can't quite get it done. And yeah, the CC is just too much. It's Cyclone and the Charm, that's just too much. And now SGB almost back to even gold right now. They are only down that single Drake and that Herald push that will eventually come out by the side of GAM, which will net them like 300 gold yet again. And I wonder if GAM can really hold on the pressure because they haven't been snowballing nearly as cleanly as SGB did last game.
Absolutely have not. BJ 3-0, sitting very happy after that first start in the jungle where we thought Levi was finally getting the better of him, but no, it's BJ who has been making things happen. Levi not really getting much done outside that dive, and moving on to the bot lane, they are keeping the pressure. They're keeping the pressure on, at least in terms of the wave, and with this Rift Herald coming up behind them, they should be able to break down this first tower. But BJ lurking in the wings, Carty will be there
BJ's
to
looking.
scare him off.
It's a 4v3, so I think GAM should easily play this out. With also the Herald being there, the turret will go down, and SGB knows that, of course, so they won't stick to the dying turret. I would hope so. But Shogun may just be still in trouble on that distance. But he's still fine. I was a little bit worried for him. And with that, GAM breaks open the game in a literal sense, is now yet again 2k gold up. And now, of course, I want to see if they can press the gold lead anything like SGB did last game, because they absolutely could do that. Next wave will spawn in 50 seconds. This should be a priority pickup for the side of GAM. And Saigon Buffalo, of course, needs to find like some angles again. Maybe get a nice gang up with Wukong again to the top side, maybe. If Kiai happens to overextend. Or maybe even find those angles they just now find in the enemy jungle of GAM on the blue side red buff. BJ might just be on to B.
Yeah, look, goes in, but the Fate's Call will keep him safe. And Mumu goes back in, Curse of the Sad Mummy goes down, but he ends up falling regardless. The damage is there. There's not enough follow-up. Levi can't
Lullaby?
quite convert on the Lullaby at all. He's down too low. Can Froggy land the charm? He cannot, so there's a lot of damage down onto the members of SGB. Can Style find those spears? Not gonna happen. It's a 1-for-0, but SGB may be a little bit too hurt to want to convert to this dragon.
They just do, I think. I think they just go
just
for the Drake here.
gotta go
Levi
for it.
also, I mean, you blew his ultimate and also lost half HP. Should be the Drake.
Party on
And
the
that
other
is actually a
side.
huge pickup. Levi could maybe go for a steal.
Can't get the steal, but they're gonna take BJ. Their ultimate from Cardi comes through across 2. They were gonna pick up Taki. The knock up again onto Shogun. They're probably not gonna be able to get him there. The Swirling Sea does connect, but no further follow-up is around. So Dragon 4-2. That is the trade SGB makes, and not the best, but they are closer to, or at least they deny that dragon stacking.
They absolutely do that, and was very short of disaster for SGB, I would say, with them like dropping this second Drake. I mean, Levi gets into the pit, the Drake's at like 200 HP. Anyone could have stolen that. If Levi would be there like as half a second earlier, he would likely get a smite steal off on his own. And it is, of course, shutdown money for the side of Levi. He gets both kills of those. Usually, I would say it's still fine to just trade the Drake for these 2 kills, especially if you're on the scaling comp. But it's very scary to feed this Lilia from Levi. He's now on 3 kills all of a sudden and got some shutdown money. He will, when he recalls, go for his Liandry's Torment, or Liandry's Anchorage, it is now called, and just really start to deal serious burning damage with both his passive and the passive from the Liandry's itself. And that also might become a problem in the game. And there's so much damage on the side of GAM in general, and Levi knows how to really out-teamfight anyone on the map. So that's a scary prospect in general for the side of SGB. However, denying the Drake soul stacking is also very huge for them. They are down around 3k gold right now, which is the same that they last game had ahead of GAM. But this time the Drake's not as one-sided, so SGB still holding on quite a bit.
Holding on, they are, as Froggy will continue to push out this bot wave. Rift Herald is coming up very shortly, so we're gonna need to start to see the team sort reset and try for that. Supports are the only ones missing those mythics right now. Well, Cardi is missing the mythic, but he's not going for it. He wants that Blade of the Ruined King, and that should be there in time as he picks up this wave. Now we're just going to see, can SGB look in? Can they find that pick with this Ari and this Wukong? They have prime position over the Rift Herald. And Kiaya may be a little bit overextended as he was poking his head into River. But
I
seems
really
like
wonder though if it will be the trophy item build for the Jonas this time. Player of the Rune King already finished. The one item power spec is there. He could just go for the Sunfire second to one of the
oh,
CP.
Style, you have gone too far, my
Style-
friend! He walks right into
Style!
Shogun and Froggy. He just gets popped, and that is the main damage of GAM gone. It's just gonna be the B to follow, and now that guarantees that Rift Herald and a very well set up mid lane. Froggy just gonna have to dash away from there. Cardi's looking for something, but I don't think he can get
No.
anything done. Just Froggy taken to half health and has zoned away Kiaya. It's just style, buddy!
Style. I don't know why you have been so far up there. Either way, it was a mistake. He probably knows it by now, with both him and his support going down there. Second Rift Herald also taken away by SGB, as you said, and this takes so much time, so much wind out of the sails from GAM. Style. You're not a frontliner, man. You cannot do that. You are alone. Basically, him and Amumu into no vision at all from their side, and everyone from SGB was ready for that, and that's what punishes them ultimately. Second Rift Herald in general, not that huge of an objective, but in this case, I think it's very good for the side of SGB to really have one push on your own, also to deny that Herald on side of GAM, and maybe even use that Herald as a distraction for the next wake, which would be something SGB also has very huge interest in, to deny that from the side of GAM, and then win some more minions, get some timing for Zeri to scale, for anyone else to scale basically in this game, so this Kalista as a pick in itself really falls off, and so far it looks like at least SGB does a better job defending than GAM did last game.
Yeah, and Kiaya is having a rough time in this top side, trying to fight off Harsmed, losing that flash in the 1v1. Now, Froggy has found Carti. Carti may be able to get something done. He still has ultimate available, but will be avoided with that Spirit Rush. Now the collapse comes in from Levi. Can he get the convert onto the BJ? Yes, he can. Gets that shutdown. And the Kiaya follows it up with a kill onto Harsmed. Big turnaround play from the side of GAM.
Top side from GAM really being the last hope this game, with Lever being very, very fat and gangplank while not being significantly ahead of the Gwen, also still a very, very huge scaling asset in the game. They alone can maybe 2v8 this performance a little bit, maybe 3v7 with Kati also playing for the side of GAM. But with this bot lane kind of struggling, it is definitely something they really need to have, and Lilting Lullaby, that's such a powerful spell. With getting the AoE sleep off and anyone from the side of SGB not being able to react for a few seconds, also secures GAM another turret in the top side of the map, and their gold lead, while not really growing very steeply, it's still at 4k, and they might just have a good angle for this Infernal Drake, which is something that earlier we thought that they maybe need to drop because of the Swift Herald being taken by the side of, I think, Shogun? Or they used the Rift Herald already, right?
Yeah, the Rift Herald was dropped into the top side, and just those kills, the reset times are so late that the dragon falls, and we have it's a 4k gold lead for GAM once again. They almost lost it, but this play from Levi turns it right around.
Yeah, it's mechanically greatly played by him, also with him having numbers advantage, right? B is already there, that's 3v2, and this Herald push not really guided by the side of SGB, kind of sloppy for them to really only guide it with 2 people, and that's what ultimately brings GAM another thing in this game to really whip them a new one, and just makes it easier for the side of Saigon Buffalo to really get destroyed by the side of GAM. So now, Goldie kind of sticking at 4k, and next Drake is done by the side of GAM, and maybe it will be an Infernal Drake Soul Snowball for them, but Saigon Buffalo still in this game, and I also see this item build choice by Kati. It will indeed be the Chovy build with the Barmy Cinder already in the inventory.
And the Sunfire damage is kind of ridiculous once it gets stacked in a team fight, and Bork is almost enough on its own to just be a big, beefy bit of damage. So I'm a big fan of the build. We're seeing it appear on multiple of these Bruiser type champions, and as we continue on, GAM pushing in the mid lane, well, we might see a few more picks follow with this build.
Yeah, the double burn coming out for the side of Levi as well, to really have this insane stacking damage up the later the team fight really goes. And yeah, game kind of slowing down right now. Of course, Baron not really up on the table, and when Baron is spawned, also not really a target you can easily rush. I mean, with Kalista, it's kind of decent if you have a lead, but still maybe just something to really bait the fight out. What really GAM wants to do right now is, of course, try to crack this mid lane tier 1 turret to really get the map control going, but so far they kind of struggle to do so, and maybe want to play more towards the side lanes with the gangplank being up there. And is that A Ravenous Hydra second for the Gangplank. I'm not quite sure if that is the correct item build he really should be going for. Either way, Kiaya has his own ways.
So I've seen a bit of the CDR Gangplank in Korea in LCK,
NJ
and
is
I've seen a
flanking.
bit, but here comes BJ with a massive flank. Style is instantly removed. Kiara and B are going to do their best in the backline, but they cannot stand up to it. Levi will fall eventually. He's gonna. Can he take anyone with him? He cannot, but that's a 5-0 clean fight from SGB. They will turn that into a Baron start, and the game has finally broken for SGB.
GAM tries to force the mid lane T1 to it, but that forces a little bit too hard. Insane flank coming up by the side of BJ to really get rid of Style immediately, and with Style being gone, the damage is kind of gone. Of course, Kati, Levi, and Kiaya can try their best to deal anything, but in a 5v4, that's still not enough really to do, especially if you also play against this mid lane T1 turret that was still dying for them. So 5-0 plus the Baron for the side of SGB. They are now equalized the gold lead and more than that with getting this Baron. They will maybe even take more from that. You will see again how it will play out. Husband is in the flank as well as BJ. Style dies pretty quickly. Kati also not in the ideal position to really do much. Gets at least one CC spell going. And the cannon barrage from Kiaya can also be kited in front of as they just all flee in the offensive way. It's just a flight or fight reaction for them and they just choose to fight. And SGB now in a leading position in this game, equally on gold. Having the Baron will likely push at least the T1 outer turrets in the top and bot lane of the map. And this might just be what slows it down too much for GAM to really snowball away.
Yeah, it feels like the snowball is dead. It's dead even in gold. There's only a dragon really in GAM's advantage on the board, but this Baron in pocket, can they make something happen? This ultimate from Style is going to catch out Taki, so they're going to find this pick back. Everybody's here to take him down, and that will slow it a little bit. It will reduce the power in the mid lane, and GAM's response to the Baron seems to be death ball it down mid.
Deathball down mid just try to force a pick and they actually managed to get one as Taki has been a little bit out of position and it is 3v5. Even with Baron you can still get
Teleport
Dove.
coming in. 3v5 indeed. They go straight onto Style. The ultimates are good. He'll remove instantly. Down. Bot lane gone. Shogun going straight over into the rest of the team. Bit of an overstep there, my friend. But it's fine. The rest of the team can clean up. BJ is going to bonk Levi on the head. No, he's not. That deer is just too damn fast. But Cardi will be left to the wolves. And that is it. It's a 4-for-1 overall. And that will be Dragon.
That will be Dragon. And again, another fight where GAM isn't really team fighting poorly. It's just that they pick the wrong fights. They cannot really go for it. They try to overload in the mid lane, get a single pick. But then they aren't happy with that. They try to go for more. Try to pressure onto the tier 2 to again get TP flanked by the side of Husband. It's kind of the same play we had before the Baron all over again with them losing a huge fight and then also losing the objective. And this brings SGB right back into this game, or they have been back in this game beforehand already. This kind of brings GAM out of this game with them winning so much time. Baron push now also finalizing, getting this T1 turret in the bot lane. Now a sudden gold lead by the side of SGB with almost 3k gold up their swing. And them equalizing the Drakes, so means they have a lot of time to scale into this. Zeri, even though the Enchanters outscaled the Kalista by quite some. And also the Ari from Froggy this game pretty fat, as well as the whole top side of the map. Basically the whole team from SGB is now in a pretty good position.
Shame on you if you flank me once. Shame on me if you flank me twice. Here comes the replay. Hasmid just tearing through the bot lane. It's the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
just we see the same play all over again. Hasmid just going onto the Kalista with the Gwen, snip, and the Kalista just dies. Then the whole team just gets cleaned up. I mean, Kati tries to buy some time, just as last time. But what can he really do as a Yone? He has to eventually snap back and can just get killed. Doesn't even get to snap back in this situation, actually. And yeah, Levi gets out. I also think mechanically they don't play these fights even terribly. They just, as soon as the flank starts, it's basically over before the fight really begins.
Yeah, just getting on top of Style time and time again. Now the siege is coming in. The Baron has one off, so the siege is not quite there for SGB, but they will sneak away. No, B is going to find his way in. He can't pop the ultimate in time, so he just falls, and now it's SGB's counter-engage onto Style. He is going to be removed off the map. Levi is getting low, and he will go Sonya's just to fall in the end. Same with Cardi. He has to snap back to it. And back to reality, back to death.
Oh, 0.
Kia is going to try. And 4-0, 9-20, that's an inhibitor down, and they have a wave.
I think it's more.
They have a
It's more. The
wave.
death timers aren't that short. B will respawn, but is B enough? He doesn't have that much wave clear. It's just lucky barrels from Ki that maybe saved the game for GAM right here. This could be the finishing push.
He couldn't kill the wave. B cannot do anything. He's gonna fall, and that is a 2-0 sweep for SGB. They are back, baby. Woo!
SGB is back, and they show